Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. We back again with a little training for you today just to drop off some nuggets that we believe can help you elevate your business. And we're going to get this thing kicked off. And like always, I love to let the women go first unless she wants me to go first. But either way, our topics always tend to coexist and we don't even really know it. So it's always awesome. So Michelle, would you like to go first?
I would like you to go first this
Oh,
week.
you like me to go
I
first?
would.
Okay.
I would. I want to change it up on you on the fly.
Okay. Okay. Well, what has been on my mind is something that's, for the last week, it's just been on my mind. And it's because I'll talk to people and they're like, well, I don't know if I can do that. Well, I've never done anything like that. Well, what would other people think about me? All these pretty much belief fears that people are putting in them or things they've done before. So my question for you is, do you personally believe that you can excel in your business? Do you feel that you can get to the top rank? Maybe you want to be a CEO, a chairperson, you want to be on the partners council. Do you believe that you can lose the weight to get to the dream body? Do you want to? Or do you believe that you can build the organization and be a leader? Do you believe? Because belief is pretty much the first step before you do anything else. Like before you even make some calls, you need to have some kind of belief of some kind. Like, hey, you got to believe in somebody or something you've seen. Somebody that had the weight loss transformation you're looking for, has the business you're looking for. So, what do you believe? And so that's the first question I want you to just think about and ask yourself: do I really believe I can do this? Do I believe? Because if you don't believe, it's just like the saying, either you believe you can or you believe you can't. You're right, either way. So if you telling yourself, no, I can't do that, I can't make that call, I can't lose the weight, I can't build my social media like that, I can't lead those people, I can't build an organization. So when you put all these can'ts in there and all these things of what you can't do, it's going to hinder you in the long run. So you have to switch that up. So you know what? Figure out ways, go find that ideal person that you kind of want your body to look like and just crop out their head and put your head on top and say, hey, you know what? My body's gonna look like that, so whatever it may be for you to do that. Maybe it's the dream house. And you know what? Grab a picture of you and like if I was talking to Melissa, okay, well, get your dream house, take a picture of you and Andrew, and put it right there on the picture right in front, like, hey, this is our dream house. Whatever it is to help you believe and start building, like get that vision in your head. And so my thing I wanted to talk about was how can you start to build belief? Some people are like, well, okay, well, I kind of believe, which is fine because we all have small beliefs at the beginning. I remember when I first got started, I didn't never think I could, at first it was just extra $500 to $1,000. But I put that and then I started believing in what other people had shown me they had did. And I was like, you know what, I could do that. But then you really build your belief with the small steps. You hear Brent talk about it, and I always tell everybody you got to get better every single day. At least 1% better every single day. Figure out something you could dive into today that can make you better in your business. So every single day, consistency, definitely when you're first starting. So you may be watching this and your teammate told you to check this out. Your friend that turned you on, said, hey, you got to watch this because this is the first video I want you to watch. Well, what I can tell you is one of the first things you got to do if you want to build your belief is you got to be consistent on a daily basis of some kind. Whether it's reading little books like this attitude book or the GoPro book or anything, just little small steps every single day. But then also the other small steps, I heard Floyd Mayweather say, he said, I didn't get to 50 and 0 by starting at 49 and 0. No, I got to 50 and 0 by pretty much simply just doing the small steps every single day. He said, I had failures. People see my 50 and 0 record, but then they didn't look at all the hard work I did and all the failure, not even failure. He said he don't use failure, and I don't either. I only believe you fail is when you quit. So the only way you can fail in this business is quitting. So if you want to say, hey, I didn't succeed at that, I failed at it, well, then the only thing you got to do is just say, I quit. But then think about all the people that you're quitting on. So think about that. Consistency over, and then the next thing of how to build belief is a team. And another thing you may, well, I just getting started. I don't have a team. Well, find somebody up to partner up with that is having a success, cross line, sideline, whatever, in your, I don't even, in your success line, up line, it doesn't matter. Find somebody to team up with. Me and Michelle team up, and we're not even on the same team on this. See, you find somebody to team up with, and then you just do it. And see, the team will help you, and it'll keep you accountable. It would be somebody to uplift you. All of that. Our community, our level up community, we all know how big that is. That could be part of your team. You can use that as your team until you start building your own. Use something, but get around some people because nobody in life ever did anything significant by themselves. We can go all the way back to the good book. Jesus had 12 disciples. He didn't do it by himself. Athletes, pro athletes always have a team of some kind, a coach. If you're looking at a football team, they got a quarterback, a running back, a linebacker. They got all these positions. They got strength coaches. They got all these different things that make the team. And so nobody ever does anything by themselves. Amazon, yeah, we talk about Jeff Bezos and what he's done, but guess what? It's a team of people that's behind him that's doing this. They don't get the highlights, but they do a lot of work. I just met up with a good friend of mine, a guy that I was following up with, and he works for Amazon. And is on the corporate side of Amazon and makes good money. But just listen to him, it's a team of them. Nobody's by themselves. And then you got also think about other people that are successful in this business. Everybody built a network. Everybody started where you started, by themselves, with a belief, and just saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do something every single day and I'm gonna get better. And just always remember, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And then the next thing to help build the belief is you being consistent. And what I can tell you is just go for it. You gotta just go for it. Like, there's never gonna be a perfect day. It's just kind of like working out. Everybody say, well, I want to get back in shape. And then think about this. If you always waited to that perfect time, so you know what, everything was lined up, you had everything lined up, you had all the products, you waited all this time. And then guess what? Somebody calls you and the family member needs you, or this needs you. The flat tire happens, this happens. There's never going to be a perfect time. You just got to go for it. You got to say, you know what? It's not going to be a perfect time. I can kind of, and Michelle, it's probably harder for people like Michelle because Michelle loves things like on point and how it's going because she's detailed. She's a detailed person. For me, it's kind of like a flip and go. It's like, oh, it don't go right. Okay, well, I know I got a little time here. I just do it then. But it's going to be different for everybody. But what I can tell you is if you just go for it, and yes, you can plan it out, but just always know it's going to be some days where instead of the 9 o'clock appointment, it may be 12 o'clock. And you just got to, that's the great thing about this business is you can balance it anyway, but you got to go for it. You got to say, you know what? I'm all in. I'm going for it. Nothing's going to stop it. And that will help you also build your belief because there's nothing better. If you've been in this business a while, this ain't for the new person, but let's say you've been in for a while and you say, you know what? I just don't know what to do. Like my team isn't doing anything. Well, you know, one thing that would just change that, go sign up 2 new people. 2, 3 new people and watch how your attitude just completely like that whole little thing. Like, you know what? Well, I got some new people to run with. My team don't want to run right now. It's okay. I'll find somebody. And so that's what you got to do is go for it. And then learn from your mistakes. I don't want to call them failures because like I said earlier, you only fail when you quit. That's just the bottom line. You're only going to fail if you quit. There's no failing in this business. There's no failing in life unless you quit. Period. If you quit, you will always say, well, I failed. But just because you don't get it as fast as Michelle, or Melissa or anybody doesn't mean that you failed. You just got to tweak a couple of things and get better. Learn from your mistakes. Um, and then just always remember everything in life that happens is not to hurt you. It's mostly a lesson. So I look at everything as a lesson. What can I learn from it? So it's just like, why is this always happening to me? Well, change that up and say, well, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this and guess what? When you start thinking like that, your belief will begin to grow. And then next thing you know, you have a belief that, like I do, I believe that New Age will be Amazon of network marketing. Because I know I see what they're doing. My belief system is up. I'm hearing from people. Our products are amazing. We have the best community. We have the best leadership and that I've ever seen. I always thought what we had before, just coming over from Limu, I thought we had the best leadership. But then you come and you put all these companies together, and then next thing you know, you get the best of everything. And that also helps you build the belief. But see, you want to build your belief up to that point. You want to build it up to that point. Everybody has their own belief, and you may just be getting started. Well, guess what? That is fine. Your belief may be small, but trust me, overdoing those simple little things, small steps every single day, getting around a team, a community every single day. Then also going for it, just doing it. Like say, you know what? I'm going for this because I want this for me and my family and generations to come. And then you're learning from your mistakes, your belief will continue to grow. So that's my part, Michelle. And I know your part actually ties into what I have, and I absolutely love when we do that every single week. But so I'm gonna pass it to my great friend Michelle. She's gonna take it over from here.
So I love what you're talking about with it all being a learning experience, right? Every time my kids have a situation at school where they're like, this person did this and that hurt my feelings, or, so and so was acting like this. And we have the conversation almost daily that says, what can you learn from that? And sometimes they're on point and they can identify what the thing is, and sometimes they can't. Sometimes it takes discussing it a little bit or a different perspective to be able to say, okay, well, when Johnny on the playground hit you, what can you learn from that? Well, I don't like to get hit, so I probably shouldn't hit people, right? That's how the conversation goes with my children, because it's, little kid problems and trying to work through those things. But every situation that we encounter in life has the ability to teach us something if we are willing to embrace it, willing to learn from it. And in business, there's situations that I've encountered where I go, that did not go well, or I felt really yucky about that situation. And instead of letting it ruin my day, I look at it and say, okay, what didn't go well? How can I fix that next time? Had a situation this morning where someone just randomly reached out to me asking about a particular product. And I've learned over the course of time talking with people that when somebody is just asking about a specific product or certain need, I'm not going to give them all the information about the company and all the different products and, oh, well, we have this and we have that and we have this. Just speak to their direct need and give them what they're looking for, right? So it's being able to learn from those experiences where you did too much too fast and someone went, whoa, to be able to hone that in and be able to refine our process a little bit. And Ant talked a lot this morning about belief in yourself and the company. And I love that because there's lots of different levels, different areas that we have belief in, right? There's the company, the industry in and of itself. There's the specific products. There's belief in our team. There's belief in self. There's lots of different areas that we have belief in. And it might vary from day to day and in each of those particular categories or areas. And that's okay. And what I want to share this morning is about not discounting your journey and your story here if you're new, if it's not a huge dramatic transformation that you've experienced, if your journey is slow. Because I want you to know that if your journey is slow, you are a testimony to the person who's struggling, who is working at it and trying and not experiencing the results as fast as they would like to experience it. So when your journey is slow and you stick with it, you're an encouragement to that person who's going a little bit slower and starting to feel discouraged. And maybe you're not somebody who has a lot of weight to lose. Maybe you're a Tammy Maltby who is thin and fit and teeny tiny, and she has no weight to lose. And so your transformation here is not going to be one of significant weight loss, that everyone can see the transformation. That's okay. Because you are a testimony to the person who doesn't have that transformation to experience, that you can still find something here, that there's still value for you here. And maybe you're somebody who is healthy and takes good care of themselves. And so for you, it's just something you do that you know is good for you, you know is the right thing to support your body and your immune system, and it continues your healthy lifestyle. You're a good person for others in that position to connect with, where they look at that and go, yeah, I can see where that's valuable, even if you don't notice some huge dramatic change. And maybe you get to create your story and your testimony with building a team and building a business, and your belief will grow as you grow. And I've had a conversation with one of my teammates a while back, and she's like, I haven't had a dramatic physical transformation. I haven't had a whole bunch of weight loss. I don't feel a lot different than I did before. And I said, okay, well, what if you make a decision to do this? You make a decision to share with other people something that could help them to have a dramatic transformation, but maybe you build your transformation through a financial change, through building a big team and a big business, where you went from, I have no idea what this even is, if it's worthwhile, to all of a sudden, now you're able to retire. You have the financial means to retire. Like, that can be your transformation. Maybe you didn't have a physical health transformation, but you created a financial one. Let me ask you guys, is there any one of you on this call this morning who could do a self-assessment of where you're at today and say that you have not changed one little bit since this came into your life? I don't think there's anybody on this call that could say, I haven't been impacted. I haven't changed in some way. My life is not better in any way. I don't think there's anybody on this call who could say that. And so sometimes it gets easy to minimize our transformation or minimize our story, because we think, oh, if I'm not a Dr. Crystal or a Craig Tomanini who's lost over 150 pounds, my story doesn't mean anything. My story is not dramatic enough for people to have any impact. I'm here to tell you, stop lying to yourself. Just stop, because your story does matter. And it matters for those people out there who think to themselves, if I could just feel 5% better physically, if I could just find one good friend, if I could have just enough extra money to pay this one bill that's stressing me out, that's significant. That means something. And if you have come here and you have found community, that's a testimony. So for people who are needing connection with the world, who are needing support in a community, in friendship, in becoming a better version of themselves, and maybe that's your transformation, where you can say, you know what, before this came into my life, I struggled to talk to people. I struggled to make new friends. I struggled to, share publicly with people about anything. And since then, I can talk to people now. I've met so-and-so or so-and-so. And when our life becomes impacted by things, that becomes part of our story and our testimony. And when it means something to you and it matters to you, it has value. And it doesn't have to be some huge, explosion of lights in the sky and some dramatic transformation to have an impact on people. And so I want to encourage all of us to not discount the value of our journey, because there's somebody out there somewhere who's going to relate to that. For instance, my weight loss journey has been slower than what is typical and average here with the products in this company. And at times I get frustrated with that fact. And I look at it and I'm like, oh, I see so many people experiencing so much faster and better, bigger results than what I'm getting. But then I encounter the people who also have a slower than average journey, and I can encourage them. I can say, you know what? Stick with it. Stick with it, because you're doing the right thing for yourself. Even if it's slow, that's okay, because you're still making progress. And so when we find ourselves in a position of looking down on our story and our journey, think about where you started and think about, if you met you then, would where you are now be an encouragement to you? I bet it would be. And just remember that your story has value, because when you find that person who is just looking for a little hope, sometimes for people, the big dramatic stories, the big transformations, I went from living in a cardboard box to now I'm a millionaire. Sometimes that's too big for people. They can't wrap their heart and their head around that, because it's so far removed. It's so big. It's such a leap that they think, I can't do that. That's too much for me. And right now, I just need to put one foot in front of the other. But someone who has a slower journey or a different transformation or just a message of encouragement, and I feel more connected, I have better relationships, I have more hope, I am a different person than I was when I started, that's attainable for people. And sometimes if we set our goal too big without a roadmap for the small steps to get there, we look at that and go, it's overwhelming. I can't get there. But those little steps and those little testimonies and the little encouragements along the way, those are the things that can get that person who maybe has lower belief past that obstacle, or the encouragement that says, you can do this. Just take one step at a time. Just do the next thing. Just take your products. Just talk to somebody, like not even about the business, about the products, about any of it. Just talk to someone, right? Build relationships. And as we do that, we begin to believe more in ourselves. We begin to believe more in the company and the products. And every one of us has a different sphere of influence. Every one of us has different people around us who we're meant to impact, who we have the opportunity to connect with, to share, to encourage, to bring hope. And we're here for a reason. And so it doesn't matter what your story is. If you need to share a big dramatic story and it's not yours, share somebody else's. But know that somebody else might be sharing yours. Because when we bring that to the table, we're all contributing. And we all are part of this community and this body and this connection. And that's where we grow, is when we lean into each other. When, if my belief is low, I can call Aunt, I can call Melissa or Ashley, anybody here, and say, I'm struggling a little bit. This is where I'm at. And maybe they've struggled and been where you are. So don't discount your story and your journey, and keep going. And if you're lacking in the belief in some area, find a way to build that. Go visit the company headquarters, get on some more calls, try some different products, get plugged in and connected with more people here within the organization so that you can get that encouragement that will build you up. Because the belief in what we have here will drive you forward. And just don't discount where you're at, who you are, the fact that you have worth, you have value, your story matters. What you are doing for yourself and for others makes a difference. And don't ever believe the lie that sometimes creeps into the back of our mind that says, my story's not very good. My story's not big enough. I'm not there yet. So who am I to talk and to share? Don't believe that. Do not believe that. That self-doubt will destroy you. You matter. Your story matters. Keep doing things to build your belief, build your business, build your relationships. Be a product of the product, both physically through that health transformation, but also through plugging in, through staying consistent, through building community. Build the things here that you want in your life. Do you want an income? Go build it. Do you want a community? Be part of one. Build it. If you want friends, be a friend. It matters what we're doing here. So Aunt, I'll give it back to you to close us out, but thank you guys for joining us this morning. We hope that it's encouraging to you and builds you up, helps to build that belief.
Hey, you guys, I hope y'all got some value from that. That's what we want to do every single Wednesday is we want to come drop off some things that's one bit on our heart, that God puts on our heart, and then things that we all can work on. We all can build our belief up even more. And one thing, just riding around with Todd and talking to Brent every day and all these other leaders, is their belief in the company is just sky high. Even with all the hiccups, they may get frustrated, but they all have a strong belief, and every single day it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that's what I encourage you to do, is go work on your belief, whether it be in the company, whether it be on the products, whether it be in the community, whatever it may be for you. Go work on your belief and watch how far you can go. You can go as this. There's really no limit. At first they used to say sky's the limit, but guess what? We have people go to outer space. So it's really whatever you put your mind to. Whatever you want, you can go achieve. So love you guys. And I'll mute the line so y'all can tell Michelle how awesome she is.
You're awesome too, sir, by the way.
Great call, both of you. Great call.